Okay, so today we are looking for that transient thermal analysis. So yesterday itself we have discussed about that steady state thermal analysis. There is no much difference between that transient structural analysis and transient thermal analysis. Only the load is differ. So in structural analysis, the load is in terms of structural like forces and pressures. In thermal itself, we apply the thermal load, so which is vary with respect to time. Okay. So our transient thermal analysis determines the temperature and other thermal quantities that varies over the time. Okay. So the variation of the temperature distribution over the time of interest, many applications such as with cooling off and electronic components. So you know that I don't want to explain the real-time examples for transient thermal analysis. So everything you see in real time, that is applicable for that transient thermal analysis. Only few cases, or else if you want to analyzing the initial condition, you can go for that steady state condition. Otherwise, most of the time, almost 90-95% of the time, we only use the transient thermal analysis. Okay, so the cooling of the electronic packages and quenching analysis. So also of interest are the temperature distribution results like thermal flux and thermal stresses. What is the term called thermal stress? Can anyone explain? So here you will have a term that is called thermal stress. So apart from that steady state thermal analysis and transient thermal analysis, you also have an analysis called thermal stress analysis. Can anyone?
The stress generated due to the temperature differential.
Temperature differences. Fine. So the stress developed due to the temperature variation or differences. Yes. Exactly. So how you actually calculate that?
There is a formula like E alpha delta T, that the alpha is a thermal coefficient something. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any idea?
Coefficient of thermal
Yes, it's
expansion.
completely theoretical, but I'm asking about in Answers Workbench. Do you have any idea how to solve this thermal analysis problem? I mean, thermal stress analysis. It's a type of coupled analysis. First, we have to do that steady state thermal analysis or transient thermal analysis first, and then we have to couple or transfer the entire data from this analysis to a static structural one. The static structural uses the thermal data from the thermal analysis, and we can calculate the stresses on steady state or transient structural analysis itself. Okay, so we don't have any option to view the stress result or strain results in thermal analysis itself. We only have the ability to view the errors or temperature distribution, thermal flux, but we don't have any option which is related to stresses or like that. Okay. So in such cases, the temperature from the transient thermal analysis are used as an input to the structural analysis. Like I said before, you have to transfer the entire data from the transient thermal analysis to a structural analysis to view the thermal results. Like, so whenever the temperature is increased or decreased, the material may be shrink or expand. So due to that shrinkage or expand, a stresses is induced, so you can also calculate that stress. Okay, so many heat transfer applications like problems such as heat treatment problems, electronic packagings, nozzles, engine blocks, pressure vessels. So we can say n number of examples for this type of analysis. Okay, so it's a quick intro to a transient thermal analysis, and also for thermal analysis, I mean thermal stress analysis also. So I will move on to the next slide, that is points to remember. So our transient thermal analysis can either be linear or non-linear. Basically it is temperature dependent. The temperature is dependent upon the time. You know that what is linear and non-linear cases. So the material properties, thermal conductivity, specific heat and density, that may be vary or may not vary with respect to temperature. So if it is varies with respect to temperature, it is considered as a non-linear one. If it is not varies with respect to temperature, it is considered as a linear one. Okay. Yes, so that is what they are trying to explain here. So I will quickly move on to the problem statement. That is we're gonna perform the thermal analysis on a brake disc today. Okay, for that, first I will open the workbench and drag and drop the transient thermal analysis. And I don't want to change the engineering data. I'll use the structural steel material for this analysis. Design modular, file, import external geometry, brake disc, and click on open and say generate. Okay, so now we have a brake disc like this. I will use this surface as it is, but I will do some modifications. So right now we have a disc brake, right? My interest is so here my brake disc is that disc. So what happens, so if it is rotated in this direction, either in clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever the direction, so the brake pads actually pushes the disc towards the disc. So due to the friction, the brake disc actually stopped. Throughout the process, the heat energy is generated all over the face and it is propagated towards the center. Okay, so that is what happened here. But for a second, it can rotate around 10 times, 20 times, or 30 times, whatever. It depends upon the vehicle speed. But I assume that for 1 second it will revolve for 1 revolution. For 1 second it is revolve for 1 revolution. Okay, I will divide this 1 second into a 6 parts, I mean, or else 5 parts. 0.1, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, like that. So each and every steps it crosses like this. So at 1 second, at 0.2 second, D segments is actually matches with that brake pedal, and then at 0.3, 0.4, so it is moved here, and D segments is actually comes under this place. Okay, so for that I need to split this phases into 5 segments. Okay, let's do that. Select one plane and say look at. So I will randomly draw one line segment. So the total is 360. 360 divided by 5, so that is 72 degree. So we need a 72 degree angle. Go to modify and say replicate. So the angle is 72, the replicate angle. I will choose this line segment and right click and say end paste set handle. This is my origin, and right click, rotate by R degree, and again rotate by R degree, and again rotate by R degree, rotate by R degree. Okay, so now we have a 5 line segments. So if you want to split that into a 6 or 7, you can do that also, but right now I only split it into a 5 segments. It's up to you. And after that we need to split that phases by using this sketches. Go to tools, phase split, select the phases you need to split. I want to split the backside also. Okay, so either you can choose one by one, and my target is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and say generate. Now it is get splitted 1 2 3 4 5, and also I have to do the same operation on the opposite side. Tools, phase split, select the phase and click on apply. Edge selector 1 2 3 and 4, the last one is 5, and say generate. Okay, so after that you can hide the sketch. So now your get remind with the brake disc, which is actually splitted into 5 segments. No issue, just minimize it or else close the design modular. But in this case they don't define like that, so it's completely arbitrary. Whatever the boundary condition I assumed here, they said that only we have to apply the heat energy on the outer faces, like outer surfaces, and then we analyze how it is actually propagated towards the center. So that is what they are interested to. So the initial temperature of the brake disc is 30 degree, and it can go up to 120 degree. So they have some limits. So the entire analysis is carried out for 10 seconds, but we assumed that the entire analysis carried out for 1 second. Okay, so they have to define the, we have to define the convection, and the output result is temperature distribution and then heat flux. So heat flux shows the how the temperature is actually propagated, and temperature distribution shows that the overall temperature of the brake disc. Okay, fine. So now we have a brake disc. So right click and say generate mesh. It's not a good mesh, but it's okay. So we are not doing any meshing operation over here, so we will use the mesh as it is. So how can I define that? So two things, you know about that initial temperature, so that is 22 degrees Celsius, but in this case the initial temperature of the component is 30 degrees Celsius, and in analysis settings the everything is remain same, that number of steps, current step number, and then step end timing, auto time stepping, you know that I already covered this in our transient structural analysis. So right click, insert temperature. So right now we have, either you can do the analysis on one step, so that is very simple, or else if you want to analyze the result on a particular region, more results, like 0.2 seconds, between 0.2 and 0.3 seconds I need a 10 result or 20 results, you can go for multiple stepping options, but right now I am using single step. Okay, so all we need to do here is we need to define 5 temperatures. Okay, 1, make sure selecting the opposite side and click on apply phases. The temperature should be it is actually varies with 30 to 120, right? So we can gradually increase the temperature. So in this case I assume that there is no variation in temperature, the temperature is constant because the position is actually changed. So if it is, we don't split this brake disc into a 5 segments, it is only a single one. We can use we can gradually increases the load from 0. At 0.2 second the temperature is 35 degree. At 0.4 the temperature is 60. At 0.6 the temperature is 80. At 0.8 the temperature is 100, and then we can say it as at 1 second the temperature is 120. So we can gradually increases the load if it is a single body. But right now what I am assuming is the brake disc is at 0th second the load 35 to it can increase up to 45 on one phases. So and then slow by slow we shift over to here and here and here. So there is a multiple boundary conditions you can assume. So okay, right now it is 30 degree. Also we can increase that also. And the next thing is temperature. I just apply, okay, not on single phases, both phases. Right click, insert temperature 1 and 2. Fine. So now we have 5 temperature, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So after that we need to change that, right? So in tabular data itself. So first I will define the analysis setting. Go to analysis setting and say I'm using one step. So the current step is 1. Obviously there is no multiple steps, so that current step is 1. Step ending time is 1 second, or else you can assume that these analysis carried out on 5 seconds. It's up to you. So I am assuming that it has happened on only 1 second. Auto timing stepping is off, so I don't want interested in the auto time stepping. So I can give my own time stepping, that is 0.2 in our case. So okay, so we will expect, so for every 0.1 second I need a results. Okay, there is no relation, whatever the value you provide, that is not reflected in your inputs. Okay, so you can give any intervals like time steps. So for every 1.1 seconds you will get the output results, the temperature variation or heat flux, whatever it is. And go to temperature and say at 0th second there is no load at all. At 0 second there is no load. At 0.2 seconds the load is okay, at 0 the load is 30. Okay, because the initial temperature of the brake disc is 30, so that is why I am saying that at 0 second the load is 30. At 0.2 second the brake is applied, so due to that friction it is not actually, in real time cases it is not actually arise 45 degree itself, but we assume that it can rise during 0.2 seconds. It rise to 30 to 45 degrees Celsius. 45. At 0.3 there is no heat. The heat is remained that 45, maybe it can increase 46 or 47 due to the heat transmitted from this phase to this phase, but we are not going to include at that. 45 up to 1 it is 45, like at 0.4 it is 45, 0. Okay, so we have to include that value here itself. 0.4 it is 45, up to 1 it is 45. And maybe if you want to increase that you can. So at 0th second it's 30, at 0.2 also it is 30, at 0.4 it does get 45. Okay, it's not 45, it's 55. Why it is? So already some amount of heat is generated in this phase. So due to some convection or conduction, the heat is actually propagated on this direction and this direction also. So this heat is already it is raised to 10 degrees Celsius, and due to the friction it raised 20 degrees. Like I can say it as a 55. Okay, although the temperature is remain constant throughout the analysis. up to 0.4, 0.6. It's 55. Also it is 55. And the next thing is here. In this case, so due to this here the is already heat, maybe its rise 10 to 15 degrees Celsius already. Here the heat is okay, 0.6. The heat is around 0.8. At 0 it's 30. At 0.2 still 30. 0.4, 0.6. The temperature is 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1. 0.2 it is 45 and 0.4 it is 45. Okay. 0.3, 45, 0.2, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. Load may be around 65. So the remaining is 30. Okay, it's not 30. But the remaining is 65. 65. Good. The next is 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. At 6 it's 65. So up to this it is 30, and here it is 65 degree, maybe 70. So here in this case, due to the propagation at the 0.2 second, 0.2, 4, okay. So in this case it is not 30 at 0.2, because due to this friction the heat can be propagated on both sides, on this phase and this phase too. So it can be increases 10 degree on 0.2 seconds, maybe it's from 40, and slow by slow so and then it is rapidly increases up to maybe 45 degree, because the brake pad is moves towards this phase. So this heat is actually transferred, so only 10 degree, and furtherly it is only transferred along this two things and these two things. Okay, 45 it can remains. Okay, so 0.5 is not in our case. I will delete this row. It still remain 45 and say 50. At the final stage it goes to 100 or something like that, maximum stage, due to the friction. So already it is in the 50 degree cases, and due to the friction it is say up to, okay, not 100, it may be 90. It's completely arbitrary, whatever the value we need we can. So after that we have included all the loads. So all we need to do here is right click and say insert thermal. We are interested in the temperature, and also right click insert total heat flux. So if you want to find the directional heat flux, you can also, and click on solve. Okay, so you'll get the results for every 1 second, 0.1 second you will get the results, because we give that analysis setting in time steps, that is 0.1 seconds. So if you change that, you will get better results on each and every time stepping. Anyways, if you want in between a more cluster of results, you can go for multiple steps, so that is recommended for you guys. And if you want to animate, you can. Okay, we'll get a poor quality of animation due to the meshing. If you give a fine mesh, you will get a better results. So maybe I will reduce the sizing. Two mm is very minimum. Maybe 5. Right click and say generate mesh. Okay, the temperature distribution is why the temperature distribution is not actually shown here is we don't yet apply any convection factor over here. So right click insert, so add a convection on the spaces. Okay, so simply what I will do here is right click and say select all, and remove the phases you apply the temperature. So that's it. Okay, and click on apply. I will use the tabular data, so maybe a stagnant here. Now click on solve. Okay, still you get a error. Right click and say delete. So it shows that all bodies, so it is not only showing the only one edges. So in the previous case it says that the geometry is edges. Okay, now we'll get the full temperature distribution. How is it actually propagated? So this is the case where the temperature distribution is actually shown. So you can also increase the frame rate for better animation. you can clearly observe how the heat is actually propagated throughout the surfaces. Where there is a maximum temperature is, so obviously here, so because it is actually started from here and end up over here, so that is why the maximum temperature is occurs over here. Yep, so that is all about transient thermal analysis. If you have any doubts regarding this